Welcome into another edition of That's Deep. I'm Tommy Z, joined as always by Johnny Bravo. We have reached the final card of the year. Looking forward to a little bit of a break. It's always sad when these seasons end, but we got about a month after that, and we'll be right back at it. But Johnny, how you feeling coming into this one?
Feeling good. Off a pretty interesting card last week. I mean, Pantoja breaking his arm, and then Merab just got absolutely dominated. Was kind of surprising to me, but yeah, we roll into this one. This one is pretty bad to end the year, so it's a rough one.
It's a tough card to pick through. Last week was crazy. I crushed the prelims for the most part.
Yeah,
that main card. I mean, I was on Van, but that was just a weird ending. And then Merab, obviously, huge letdown there. But Jan's good, and he showed it, so can't be mad at it.
Yeah.
But we've got this last card to pick through here. Not the best, but not the worst either. So this is what we do. So we'll jump right into it. The first fight of the night. We've got a women's flyweight fight. Jamie Lynn Horth taking on Teresa Bleda. Bleda been off a little while. She's got some upside. She hasn't shown that potential that I thought she was going to have coming into the UFC, but she's all right. She's got good size. Jamie Lynn Horth also pretty good size here. Kind of a size bully when she gets on top. She's tends to have some success, but not always the most aggressive. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, this is a dumpster fire to start the night. I mean, Bleda, she's been off for 2 years with the injury. So I don't know what to expect. I think I heard something that was like a knee injury maybe she's coming off of, but yeah, she's a pretty big girl. Striking isn't the cleanest, isn't the most technical, kind of sloppy, but she is big for the weight class, and she has some pretty decent wrestling and some good top control and some decent groundwork. Yeah, and then Jamie Lynn Horth, I don't know. She's also a pretty big girl, but she usually depends on her size advantage and her strength to kind of push her opponents around. I don't know how much she's going to be able to do that here. The striking is not great. I really don't know where she's good at. I don't know what to expect from Bleda, but I think she probably gets the win here. But yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think Bleda probably gets the job done. She's still pretty young. We see sometimes these fighters take time off, even if it is for injury, but young in their career, they do tend to come back stronger. Bleda, could be another example here. So yeah, I like Bleda here. Not gonna have a ton of confidence. Just there's a lot of unknowns here, but Bleda is a pick for me. All right, moving right along to probably a lot more unknowns here. We got Alan Fry Jr. taking on Garame Pat. Both guys making their debut. Not a lot on these guys. I don't have a strong take on this fight. I don't know if you do, but what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I really don't know what to make of this fight. I couldn't really find tape on either one of these guys. Fry has one fight, I think, and it's recorded off a cell phone, so hard to really tell. But he's kind of fighting a short Oompa Loompa, so I don't know how good the competition really is. And Guilherme, I really couldn't find anything on this guy, so I don't know. Who knows? Crapshoot, heavyweight fight. Dumpster fire. I guess I'll pick Guilherme. I don't know. Who knows? I'll go with the Brazilian. So
there you go. There you go. That's usually a safe bet. Yeah. I'm right there with you. I don't really have anything on this fight. Just too much unknowns. The record of their opponents, doesn't really give you a whole whole lot to look at either. So yeah, I mean, maybe bet the unders, and that's it. But yeah, this is one that I'm probably not going to be involved in at all. All right, our next fight is at least we know who these fighters are. We got Melissa Croden taking on Luana Santos in the women's bantamweight division. Santos, I was pretty high on her. Her early run in the UFC. I mean, she's still young. She's still moving along here. Taking on Melissa Croden. Again, I mean, there's question marks, with both fighters. Santos definitely dangerous in the grappling department. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, Croden, she impressed in her debut. She looked pretty good, Lisboa, but I don't really know how good Lisboa is. She's a pressure fighter. She's gonna throw forward, throw a lot of volume. Isn't the best defensive wrestler. She can be taken down. Doesn't really have much offensive wrestling. So yeah, she's going to want to keep it on the feet and kind of push a pace and that's pretty much her game plan, how she fights. And Santos I'm kind of high on Santos. She's only 25, so she could be making improvements. I mean, the striking isn't where it needs to be, but I mean, if she gets on top, her groundwork is pretty good, and yeah, she can do work from up top. I don't know. This is another low-level one. I mean, Croden, she's already an older fighter. I'm going to go with the younger fighter to be able to get takedowns here and just get some top control and, win a decision probably, or maybe find a sub.
Yeah, I like that. I am interested in the sub look. Santos does have good submissions. She's shown it a little bit. She is a good grappler. She is young, so the improvements can come fast. So I'll be on Santos here as well.
The thing you don't like to see is Santos hanging around Nina Drama. That's
these things happen.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yep. We'll see how that plays out. But all right, our next fight here is another heavyweight bout. Probably a pretty sloppy one at that. We got Sean Sharaf taking on Steven Asplund. This is low-level UFC heavyweight division. Two guys are going to go out there and throw down. I don't know. It's not much to be said, but what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, how bad is the heavyweight division? Look at these guys that are in the heavyweight division. It's terrible. But yeah, Asplund, he's coming off a pretty nice knockout on the Contender Series. We found out that Garasio guy wasn't the greatest level of competition. We heard, he was training out of his garage and whatever, and he came in and fought like an idiot, and Asplund did what he had to do and slept him. But yeah, Asplund, he's okay, I guess. He's decent. He's got some power in his hands. The striking's okay. The cardio is semi decent for a big fat sloppy guy. He could push forward and kind of push the pace. But yeah, submission defense isn't the greatest. Denzel Freeman, who fought a couple of weeks ago, was able to submit him, which is, you've seen Denzel Freeman. He's not the greatest. So, yeah, and then Sharaf, I don't know. It's when he fought the Tapa brother, and he had some success early. He got a takedown and got some top control, but kind of just gassed out and then got sparked. So, this is a slop fest, man. I'm going to go with Asplund. I guess Asplund to probably catch him and put him away probably in the second round. But, this is just bad.
It is. It's tough, man. It's a tough way to end the year.
Yeah, this is a rough one. So,
But I'm with you. I like Aslan. I think he probably knocks him out. I think whoever wins this fight probably wins by knockout, and unless it's one of those ones where they go crazy for the first 2 minutes and then just lean on each other for 3 rounds, which is more than possible. But yeah, I think Aslan, he's quick enough, and I don't think Sharaf is really all that great. So take Aslan here. All right, our next fight is in the welterweight division. We got old man Neil Magny doing it once again, taking on Yaroslav Amosov. Magny always that kind of underdog, finds a way at the end type fighter. Amosov, he's got some good grappling. He's got some upside. We haven't seen him at the UFC level. But, UFC's bringing in a young guy here. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, Amosov, we know him pretty. He's Bellator champion. We've seen him fight a lot of times over there. He's Ukrainian. He was a champion over in Bellator. He was 28-0 before Jackson caught him and put him away. But, he was coming off like a layoff, like the Ukrainian. He went and fought actually in the Ukrainian war, so that's why he was off for a while. Actually, if you've seen that video, he went in and like dug his belt out of his championship belt out of his house that got bombed, which was, pretty crazy to see at the time.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But, Amosov, he's not the greatest striker, doesn't have the best volume, and maybe the chin can be a little questionable, but where he gets his game going is when he gets you down and takes you down and kind of just, he's got really good submissions, he's got some decent ground and pound, he's pretty good. I've backed him many a times over in Bellator. I think he has a good skill set, and I'm interested to see him here in the UFC and see what he can do. And Neil Magny's going to do. Neil Magny's going to Neil Magny. He's going to he's kind of just going to I don't know how to describe it. He's just going to fucking try to survive and then find a finish, which he's obviously been doing lately. The Jake Matthews fight, he clearly tapped and the fight should have been over, but it was able to continue, and Matthews just adrenaline dumped after he thought he had the finish, and Magny gets the job done there. And the Zaleski Dos Santos was he was getting beat up pillar to post there in the first round, and then finds a way to come back and win that one. And just like the Malott fight too, getting beat up, so that's what Neil Magny does. He doesn't really have the skill set, I really don't think, to compete with these guys, but he has some decent heart, and the cardio's pretty good. He's got some decent wrestling of his own. He's going to want to kind of cage push you up against the cage and kind of use, that's, kind of how he fights. The distance striking, it's not the greatest. Durability it's okay, but it's when he gets taken down to the ground is where people kind of dominate him and can kind of school him on the ground. And submission defense is not very great when he's on his back. So, I like Amosov here. But Neil Magny could fucking Neil Magny, and then we're just all just like, well, he did it again, But I think Amosov takes him down and probably submits him.
Yeah, he definitely has the experience. So you wouldn't worry so much about cardio. And also, that's Magny's weak spot. If you get him down, you can hold him down. It's a problem. You can submit him. So, I'm right there with you. I think the sub is live in this one, and Magny keeps pulling it out of the hat, but he's up there in age and can't keep doing that. You just can't keep getting away with it, and I don't think he's going to this time.
Yep.
All right, our next fight is just got made recently. We got Joe Anderson Brito taking on Isaac Thompson. Brito was supposed to fight Bagdasaryan. He must have pulled out within the last few hours because, as far as this morning, I thought that the fight was.
No, they didn't. Yeah, yesterday morning it was
yesterday?
No. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I totally missed it then. But yeah, we got Isaac Thompson here coming in from the LFA, taking on Joe Anderson Brito. He's on a 2-fight losing streak, but he's fought some tough guys. He's explosive. He's always a tough out. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, this is a real interesting one for me. Brito not on the greatest of runs, back-to-back losses, to William Gomes and Pat Sabatini, who are good fighters in their own right. But yeah, I mean, he came in and I thought he looked really good. I mean, and he was on a nice little run. He was absolutely starching people and finishing them. But, it's the level of competition, that he was fighting. It's like Weston Wilson and Lucas Alexander, the Andre Feely. I mean, that's an okay win. Jonathan Pierce, he's not with the UFC anymore. He kind of just, and then Jack Shore, who's retired. So it's really tough to rate the wins. I mean, he looked good at the time doing it, and he's on a rough run here. But he's a good fighter. He has skills. He's got big power in his hands. Kind of low volume though, and he'll just throw big bombs and try to clip you and get you out of there. But he has some grappling too. Good submission game. He's good. He's got he's a decent fighter. And this Isaac Thompson kid, I was like, when I seen it, I had to go and I watched like 5 of his fights yesterday, and man, this kid is pretty talented, man. He's got a pretty good skill set. I mean, the striking is decent from what I've seen, and it's getting kind of better each fight. Really good grappling. I mean, he's a good, well-rounded kid. He's only 23 years old. I think this kid has some potential to be pretty good from what I see. I think this is probably, Bagdasarian, Bagdasarian just has no ground game and just is not very good. This kid is actually pretty skilled on the ground, so it's interesting to see how it's gonna play out, because if it's able to stay on the feet and if Brito doesn't catch him with a big bomb, I think this Thompson kid could be live. I don't know. It's interesting to me. Monies came absolutely piling in on Thompson. I think he's down to like plus 250 now. I think he opened like plus 500. So, money's just flying in on him. But ultimately, short notice, skilled opponent. I think Brito probably gets the job done. Probably knocks him out, maybe. I don't know. This is a tough one, because the Bagdasarian match, I was going to be, all over Brito, but now it's kind of like I'm kind of questioning it a little bit now. But yeah,
I think with the short notice, I have to still go with Brito on this one. It could be one of those fights though, where the guy making his short notice debut, not a lot is expected of him, and you get a hell of a fight. So I would not be shocked. I mean, he looks good, like you said. He's shown pretty well-rounded skill set, and I'm assuming a guy like that, he's on a nice little streak. He knows he can get the call at any point, so he's probably training and ready to roll. I think it could be a fun fight. I think fights usually are pretty fun. There's always a chance for a finish. And, fighting a guy hungry, making his debut, trying to make a statement, last card of the year, we could see some fireworks. But, ultimately, I'm going to roll with Brito. I mean, I like Brito overall. I think he's pretty solid. He's got some holes, but, he's a pretty solid overall fighter. And I think he'll get it done here. All right, our next fight is in the strawweight division, women's strawweight division. We've got Amanda Lemos taking on Jillian Robertson. I feel like we'll probably have the exact same take on this fight here. Lemos has some big power. That's really where she's made her money. And Robertson is a great grappler, not a great striker, but she's coming along a little bit in the striking. But overall, she wants to get these women down, beat them up on the ground, and look for the submission. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this is an interesting matchup. I mean, Jillian Robertson, she's a nuke the house favorite here. We bet her a lot, and Yeah, I mean, like you said, like the striking is not the greatest, but it has made improvements. Her head coach is Dean Thomas, so I would trust in him to make the right decision to kind of improve her skill set. Um, yeah, and she's a really strong grappler if she can get it to the ground. Sometimes she kind of struggles though to get fights to the ground, and that's where girls kind of give her problems is if they can stuff the takedowns and keep it on the feet. Like Tabitha Ricci did, and Tabitha Ricci was able to stuff the takedowns and mix in the wrestling of her own a little bit against Julian, and really gave her a lot of problems. But when Robertson gets on top, she's pretty violent on top. And she said it before that when she fights, she's finish over position. So when she's on top, she's going to be looking for subs. She's going to be looking for ground and pound. She doesn't have the best power, but when she gets on top, she can get in a dominant position and land some punches and get the fight stopped. So yeah, she's really good on top, but if she's kind of like what's the saying? She's a good hammer. She's a good hammer, bad nail. Yeah. So I mean, yeah. And then Lemos, we've seen her many a times. She's a good striker. She's got power in her hands. She's pretty violent on the feet. But hole in her game is the takedown defense, which I think Julian's probably going to be able to exploit here and get her down. I like Julian here. I just don't know if it's going to be a sub or if Lemos is able to defend the takedown, defend the submissions, and kind of survive to a decision. But I think Jillian should be able to get takedowns here and probably win maybe a decision. I don't know about the sub, maybe. But, yeah, I like Jillian here.
Yeah, same. I think she can get the grappling going. Lemos has had issues with grappling. I mean, she's been, finished standing with submission. So, yeah, I think Jillian, she's shown better ability recently. She just seems overall like, just a little bit more polished than what she was 3 or 4 years ago. So, yeah, Lemos getting a little older, not great with the grappling. Obviously, the big power is there, and Jillian Robertson can be cracked. But, yeah, I think Jillian just finds a way, gets it down. Lemos has historically been pretty tough to finish, but, we have seen her get finished. So I think the sub is always live. And with Jillian, she's got that skill set. So sub is there to be had.
What's interesting is, Tatiana Suarez couldn't even find anything or get anything on her, and she's pretty good on top. So that's kind of,
Yeah. Yeah, we could easily see 3 rounds here. Hopefully dominant grappling, but yeah, could easily go all 3. All right, our next fight is in the lightweight. Oh no, this is a catchweight. We got King Green taking on Lance Gibson Jr. We all know Bobby Green. Man, he looks recently has not looked very good. Chin is not really what it used to be. Just seems like Father Time's caught up to him. Taking on Lance Gibson Jr. I don't know much about this guy. Didn't really have time to tape this one. So I will leave it to you. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, we know what we're pretty much getting out of Bobby Green. He's been, he's been in the UFC for a long time. We've seen him fight, a whole lot of times. He's going to walk forward. He's going to talk. He's going to have his hands down. He's going to throw good volume. He's decent takedown defense. Pretty terrible fight IQ, if you ask me. Patty Pimlet's fight, he just, went for a takedown on Patty and got subbed when his clear path to victory was keeping it on the feet. And, the Hoofy fight was, that's kind of, I got question marks about it. He barely got grazed by that kick, and he was absolutely out cold, which is kind of interesting to me. I don't know. Maybe he just didn't like what was going on in there and went down. But, yeah, he barely got grazed by that spinning heel kick, which was, it was a crazy kick, and it did land, but that put him out cold. So you got to question the durability now as you get older and you've been cracked. I mean, the Jalen Turner fight was something that's kind of took, that takes years off your life, the amount of damage he took after he was knocked out there. And it's just, he's been in a lot of scraps, he's a lot of, and, his last fight, I mean, I think it was against Diego Ferreira. I mean, he couldn't even make it to the scale. He was injured. So, I guess he's coming in here to get one more in before the end of the year. And, Lance Gibson, I mean, I don't know what to make of this guy. I mean, he's the kind of, he's a Bellator guy, old Bellator prospect. His dad fought in MMA. His dad fought in the UFC. His dad's his trainer. I think his dad's wife is his dad's girlfriend or wife, or I don't know if they're married, Julia Budd. So, he's got good MMA minds in the room there. And from what I've seen, I mean, he's a decent striker, pretty decent striker. I mean, he's got wrestling. I mean, he seems pretty well rounded, but you got to question if this fight gets extended, how his cardio is going to look. He's only been to 2 decisions out of 10 fights. So, that's always a question mark if this gets extended. I mean, he's been waiting for a UFC fight because there was some little documentary on YouTube or 11 months ago. I think they signed him and I guess he was getting ready for a fight. I don't know what happened in between that, why he didn't fight or whatnot. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Short notice here coming in. I really don't know what to make of it. I mean, probably Bobby Green. It's probably, I mean, maybe Gibson can find something early and find, get him down or, find something big early. But I think the longer the fight goes, I think Bobby Green just puts the volume on him, just beats him up and maybe can finish him. I don't know. I like Bobby Green here, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just so hard to back Bobby in 2020.
Yeah, it's so hard to, yeah.
He's definitely got the speed still. I mean, he's definitely a problem. But, man, it does make me worry, where that chin's at. He puts himself out there to be hit. It's not like he plays great defense. I mean, he does move well, and there's times where he makes guys look stupid trying to hit him. But there's other times where he just, puts himself out there to be hit. So,
I mean, the hands are at his waist the whole time. I mean,
exactly. So, yeah, it's tough to really back him, but, when he is on, he still looks pretty good. Obviously, the recent run has not looked great, but, fighting a guy making his debut in the UFC, with not a ton of experience, it could be interesting. I guess I will side with Bobby here one last time, but I don't think, I don't have a lot of confidence. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull the trigger on a bet, but yeah, I'll roll Bobby and see if he can turn back the clock a little bit.
Man, DFS is going to be a shit show this week.
Yeah, it is. You just might as well take some chances and shoot for the fences.
Well.
Right. Our next fight is, I'd say, one of these fighters is one of the worst disappointments of the year. We got Kennedy Nzechukwu taking on Marcus Buchecha, the great jiu-jitsu wizard who let us all down in his debut earlier this year. Taking on Nzechukwu, who's, he's solid. He's a big dude. He's long, rangy. He's got good striking. Fell victim to a heel hook recently, so Buchecha may be able to pull something like that off. But man, after that debut, it's tough to get behind him. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, Buchecha came in, a lot of hype. He's looked good in one championship. And he's a BJJ world champion and. I don't really. I mean, he had his moments in that fight against Boudet, and he had some. I thought he could have. It was kind of competitive in that fight. It was a close fight. Boudet's not a trash can. Boudet's a pretty solid, decent heavyweight. And he's a big guy, so he's kind of hard to take down. Yeah, so I mean, I really don't hold that too much against Buchecha. I mean, he showed some decent striking. The cardio kind of looked terrible, which was not something you like to see. But it was over there in it was in the Middle East though. So I mean, that's kind of a different area for him, And it was in a full arena in his debut, and now he's coming to the Apex, to the small cage. I don't know. I really don't know what to make of him. I mean, I think he has the skills. I mean, he's fought really good guys and won, and he's got all the skills. And yeah, and Kennedy and Shichuku. I mean, I can't trust this guy. This guy is one of the most flakiest fighters to ever enter the octagon. I mean, that Walter Walker submission, it didn't look like he knew how to defend the sub. The way Walter was able to just lock in that heel was it was kind of just amateur hour, it was like white belt stuff, what was going on there. And, he, since moving up to the heavyweight division, I mean, he's fought Chris Barnett, who's cut from the UFC, and in his last fight, his pants were falling off. And he fought Lucas Brzeski. I mean, one of the worst guys in the division. Yeah. So, I mean, I really don't know. And then you lose the decision to 42-year-old OSP. That's the one that's like, man, that's like a minus 750 favorite. You get, I mean, OSP is able to take you to a split. Like, that's just a rough look, man. And, he got sparked by one punch by Justin Jacoby. I mean, I don't know. I can't get behind Kennedy. I mean, the grappling isn't the greatest. The defensive grappling isn't the greatest. Submission defense isn't great. But he's got some pretty decent striking. And, he's got power in his hands. So, I mean, he could crack Buchecha and put him away. But I don't know, man. I can't back Kennedy, man. I'm going to roll with Buchecha here one more time to be able to get the takedowns and to be able to find it. I like Buchecha. Probably Buchecha by stuff. I can't trust Kennedy to put any kind of money behind him.
Yeah, I like the sub look as well. And I like, he knows he can go for a heel hook, and he's about as good as they get in the jiu-jitsu world. So, Kennedy's not going to learn how to defend a heel hook in, however long it's been since he fought Walker.
Like 5 months.
Yeah, 1 month. I think Octagon jitters making his debut, it definitely played a role. I'm hoping that is part of the reason why the cardio didn't look so good for Buchecha. I would expect it to be a little bit better here. There is some danger here on the feet. Kennedy definitely has some power. He's long, he's rangy, so he can land a big punch. But I just think Buchecha will have a much easier time getting him down. And when it's on the mat, I think that they'll be worlds apart. So, yeah, he was a big disappointment for me in his debut, but, that tends to happen. And I would hope for a big bounce back here for Buchecha. All right, next fight is actually a pretty good one. I'd say one of the better fights on the card. We got Mel Quizio Acosta taking on Morgan Shariar, featherweight bout. Mel Costa, he's got all the skills. He's maybe a touch chinny, but he's a good striker. He's got some good grappling. And Shariar is a guy that sometimes he leaves a little bit to be desired out there. Fights a little closer than you would expect, but he does have an overall pretty good skill set, and just a solid fighter. I think he's got more than what he's shown, but I think this matchup here is a good one. It'll be a good test for both guys. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, these top 4 fights are pretty much the card. I mean, anything below it is just pretty much all junk. But yeah, this is a fun fight. This is an interesting one, and yeah, I mean, Mel Costa. I mean, he's on a one hell of a run, man. He's been looking really good. He beat Julian Erosa, Christian Rodriguez, Andre Fili, Shoreline Norbeke. and he's on a nice run. He's a good striker. Really good body kicks. I like his kicks, how he uses his kicks. He really whips to the body with the kicks. Pretty well rounded. I mean, he's got decent grappling. Decent submissions. I mean, the cardio's good. Yeah, I mean, the skill set is there, and he's on a good run since. I mean, he lost he came in short notice, and he lost to Thiago Moises. You can't really blame him there too much. And then he got sparked by Steve Garcia, which, I mean, everybody gets sparked by Steve Garcia, so can't really hold those losses against him too much. And he's on a really good run and looking really good and really sharp. And Sherrier is kind of a guy that's kind of just like he's got all the skills. I mean, he's a good striker. He's got good takedown defense. He's got good grappling of his own. He's got decent power in his hands. It's just he leaves all these fights pretty close. I mean, he's pretty low volume. Doesn't throw a lot of volume, so he leaves it there. If you can outwork him easily. I mean, he loses a lot of like split decisions. So it's he fights at a close wire. And the Nate Landwehr fight in his last fight, Nate was starting to do work on him, and kind of the tide was kind of turning in that fight towards Nate, and then he kind of just he kind of turned it on and then beat them in the third. So he does have power in his hands. This is going to be an interesting one. I think I'm going to side with Costa with the volume and the pace, and just be able to just outwork Morgan and probably win a decision here. Yeah, I like Milk.
Yeah, I like him for those reasons as well. I've been kind of back and forth on this fight. I think because I just think Sherrier has that. He's tougher to put away, so I feel like there's less of a risk of him getting finished. But like you said, I mean, Costa gets knocked out by Garcia. You can't put too much into that. He's been knocked out a couple times. But Sherrier, generally when the fights get finished that he's in, he's usually the one doing it. So I like that about him. I like that he's durable. He does have some pop, which we saw. But Nate the Train, we all love him, but he's had a lot of damage in his career, and he's prone to get cracked. So I'm with you, man. I think the Costa, the volume is going to be there, and I think in a close fight, competitive fight, if he doesn't get clipped and put away, he probably looks better to the judges, puts a little bit more volume out there. And I mean, the kids look good. He's been on a nice roll, so I'm right there with you. I'll roll with Costa. Our next fight is in the middleweight division. We got Cesar Almeida taking on Cesare Olenchechuk. Olenchechuk is the brother of Mikal. They are fighting. They're training at the Fighting Nerds currently. Almeida, big time kickboxer. That was his claim to fame coming over. He fought Poatan, and he spent most of his career in the kickboxing world. He's shown he's got good power. Grappling, still a little bit there that could be a problem. Olenchechuk is a little bit more of a grappler than his brother, but he's also a pretty solid striker himself. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this should be a fun one. I mean, Almeida, he's, like you said, credential kickboxing, really good striker. I mean, on the feet, the guy is really technical. He's got good volume. He's got power in his hands. He's got a pretty decent chin on him. He was in there with Pereira and was able to survive there. And he's a pretty tough dude. It's just, you just really question the grappling. He can be taken down and he can be held down, which is something, there's just zero wrestling or grappling or anything there. And the takedown defense isn't great. So yeah, but I he's going to want to keep this on the feet and, kind of keep it in his realm and try to catch Cesare. But, I like this kid, Cesare. he really impressed him on his, in his Contender Series fight. I mean, he absolutely just ran through that guy. I mean, the guy didn't even have a chance. He hit him with 2 punches and absolutely just flatlined him. It was a pretty, impressive performance. And yeah, I mean, the kid on tape looks really good. I mean, he's got grappling of his own. He's an offensive grappler. He can grapple. He can get takedowns. I mean, he's, defensive, the takedown defense is, it's okay. It's pretty good, but I don't think he'll have to worry about, takedowns coming his way. And, the hands are fucking really sharp, really fast, good combinations. Just, yeah, overall could be a prospect. I mean, I think he's probably better than Mikael. I mean, if he's really good. I think this kid could be really good. Yeah, and then we've seen Roman Kopylov able to wrestle Almeida, which is something that, Kopilov's pretty much primarily a striker. So, I mean, I don't know. There's an easy path here for Cesare, to go for takedowns and probably get him pretty easily, and he could do work on the ground. And, he's got a decent submission game. I mean, he has a few subs on his record. Yeah, he's got 2 subs, so I mean, he's not. Yeah, he could find something here. I mean, I don't know. I like Cesare. Probably put him in a parlay, or maybe take a shot on his knockout. But yeah, I like Cesare to get the job done here.
Yeah, as do I. I mean, training with the Fighting Nerds, you would think that there's going to be a part of the game plan that is to wrestle here.
Yeah, we've seen improvements from Mikael since he's going over to the Fighting Nerds, and this young kid coming in is, I think he's got all the potential to be really good.
For sure. I think he gets the grappling going. I mean, he could land something big on the feet too, but obviously there's a big risk there. So if you have an advantage somewhere, why take that chance? So I think he will involve the grappling, maybe not, exclusively, but I think that once he sees the path is there, it's probably going to be the way he goes. So yeah, I'll change.
What's the sub? What's the sub?
That's a good question. I like the sub.
550.
550. Yeah, I like that. I mean, Almeida
plus 140.
Almeida, we've seen his grappling is. I mean, he's shown a little bit, but it's still pretty bad.
And Almeida's generally durable on the feet.
Yeah, I like the sub look there.
Yeah, that could be an interesting little sprinkle. Yeah.
All right, moving along here. Another solid one. Featherweight division, we got Giga Chikadze taking on Kevin Vallejo. Chikadze is a guy that, he's looked great at times. We've also seen him get beat pillar to post at times, fighting at the higher level in the UFC. Taking on Vallejos, who's, he's pretty new to the UFC, but so far so good. I mean, the kid's showed that he's got the skills. He's got some big-time upside here. My question with Giga is, as he gets older, I feel like he's slowing down a little bit, taking a little bit more damage, and that could come into play here. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, he's not on the best of runs. He has not looked great. I mean, his last fight, he had, David Onamo was able to just kind of grapple him and just do whatever he wanted, which wasn't a great look. And, the Arnold Allen fight was, he had, I think he probably won round 1 in that, he had, some success in that Arnold Allen fight early in the round, when he gets that Giga kick going, he throws those body kicks and those leg kicks, he's a really good striker, he's good, but it's just kind of his father time kind of catching up to him because he kind of just gassed out in that Arnold Allen fight and just the cardio just doesn't look like it needs to be where it needs to be right now in this point of his career. Taking a lot of damage. I mean, that Calvin Kattar fight, he took a lot of damage in that fight. That wasn't a great look. Yeah, and just he's not active. I mean, he seems to be always injured from what I hear, and he's not active. He fights probably once a year. So yeah, it's he's a talented striker though, really super talented kickboxer. But takedown defense is not good, and there's no offensive wrestling from his side coming back at his opponent. So yeah, I don't know where he is right now in his career. And Vallejos, I mean, I like everything about this kid. This kid's going to be a real problem. He's young. He's hungry. I mean, the boxing, the combinations, the speed. I mean, really good. I mean, Gene Silva, he went in there and kind of went toe to toe with Gene Silva in there, and he won him round on his Contender Series fight. Yeah, he looked really good in that fight too. The combinations to the body, to the head, really sharp. And we've seen in his last fight, if he needs to, he can mix in the grappling and get the takedowns and mix it up a bit, which I think probably is. I mean, he could probably get as many takedowns as he wants here. I mean, I don't see Giga really putting up too much resistance in the takedowns. So yeah, I mean, the boxing is where it would kind of be a danger at kind of distance. You got to watch out for these tricky, kicks Giga does, and Giga is bigger, so he's going to have kind of a reach advantage. So Vallejos is going to want to get in the sides and inside and utilize his pocket boxing, rip the body. I think Giga is probably vulnerable to the body. He looks real soft down there, so I think Vallejos can work the body and really drain the gas tank of Giga and mix in takedowns. So yeah, Giga's generally he's pretty tough to finish. So yeah, I like Vallejos here. Probably mixing in takedowns, striking. Yeah, I really like Vallejos here.
Yeah, same. I mean, his one loss is to Gene Silva. Not even a bad fight. Wasn't a bad loss by any stretch. Obviously, we've seen what Gene Silva's been doing. Yeah, and I just think Giga, he's just getting older. And even when he was younger, there was fights where he kind of left it out there. He didn't put up enough volume. He's always dangerous with those kicks. Really, really good striker, but I think Vallejo is just gonna be more active. He's got just a more overall skill set to win, land the takedowns, mixing the takedown strikes. He's got it all. He's got good power. He's got submission skills. Yeah, I think just a little bit of passing of the torch here. Giga kind of on the way out, Vallejo on the way up. So I think Vallejo get this one done. All right, that brings us to our main event of the card and our last main event of the year. We've got Brandon Royval taking on Manel Kape. Brandon Royval is all action all the time. I mean, love watching this kid fight. Manel Kape, really good fighter, got big time power. Discipline, not always there. Doesn't always make weight. Doesn't fight as much as you would like to see him fight. Interesting one here. Royval coming off a great war with Josh Van, 3-4 months ago. And yeah, very, very interesting one. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, Kape has, I think he has all the skills and all the tools to be really good. I mean, we've seen flashes from it. He's a really good technical, striker. Big power in his hands. More of kind of a counter striker. We don't see him really put out a lot of volume at times. He kind of sits back and waits for his opponent and tries to catch him with something big. Good. He's got a good submission game. Good BJJ. Takedown defense it's okay. It's good. And it's just this guy is just he talks a big game and he just talks a lot. So he's like that's the Mokaev fight. These guys are ready to kill each other and then they get in the octagon and he doesn't throw a punch. You know, it's like, like that was one of the worst fights of all time, I think, in the history of the UFC. It was that bad. You know, and he's, you know, always getting hurt, always missing weight, not the most professional guy, you know, but he's got big power and the striking is really good. And, you know, we know what we're getting from Royval. You know, he's really developed his striking. You know, he walks forward, throws a lot of volume. Sometimes he's maybe not the most defensively sound, which I think that might be kind of an issue here. But yeah, I mean, he's got, you know, he doesn't have the best like takedowns, but if he was, you know, he has really good scrambles, and if he gets onto your back, or if he gets on top, or he finds a position on the ground, you know, he's got a really good submission game. Yeah, I mean, this is, you know, it's 5 rounds, so it's all about Royval being able to kind of just stay safe and not get hit with one of those big shots, because I think he's gonna definitely put the pace on Kape. He's gonna throw he's probably gonna, if it goes 5, he's probably gonna almost double him up in significant strikes. So I mean, if you're betting Kape, you pretty much, I think you probably take the knockout. If you're betting Kape, you probably take the knockout. And you know, Royval is just gonna, you know, it's just, you know, we've seen him crack before, but the chin has genuinely kind of held up. You know, I know Kape caught him, and you know, Van dropped him at the end of their fight, but you know, he's generally, you know, pretty durable. And yeah, I mean, I think this line is just way too wide. I mean, I have to go with Royval because it's just way too wide. I think the line is wrong. I think Kape should probably be like -150 here. Or it should be like closer to, like -150, -140. And I think there's definite value on Royval. It's just, you just got to worry. I mean, you kind of just bet Royval, and you know, if Kape catches him, then so be it. But I think there's too much plus money on Royval here. On a guy that's fought the best of the vets. I mean, he's fought Pantoja. Yeah, he lost. You know, Kape fought Pantoja too, lost too. So I mean, you know, Royval, Brandon Moreno, he's fought the who's who in the division. Beats Tatsuro Taira, who absolutely flatlined Brandon Moreno. You know, he was able to go in there, and you know, so that's showing as a really, really good win now against Tatsuro. So yeah, I gotta roll with Royval here as a dog. Too much plus money.
Yeah, me too. I mean, when you look at that resume, the guys that he's fought, and he's fought well against, Royval, I mean, he's literally fought everybody. And he's fighting well against all these guys. You know, even in the losses, for the most part, he's hanging in there and, you know, putting on a good show. So I really like Royval. I've been a fan of him since he made his debut. You know, he's just all action. He's got great scrambles, which are always fun to watch. And yeah, I mean, I do worry a little bit. You know, he's been cracked, he's been dropped, he's been hurt. But you know, he's also cracked a lot of guys too. I mean, Kai Kara dropped him, and then he came right back and dropped Kai Kara. You know, put a pace on him. So yeah, I've always been a fan of Royval. I just think he's really good. Kape, yeah, he's got the power. But really, in this matchup, that's kind of it. It's kind of KO or bust, I think, for Kape. I don't see a world where he wins a decision. I just don't see how Royval doesn't throw 350 strikes and, you know, land most of them in a 5-round fight. And Manel Kape's not going to throw more than 100. He doesn't throw a lot. So I like the volume. I like the scrambling, the grappling. And yeah, it's just a matter of not getting clipped, and which is possible. I mean, Kape's got about as much power in this division as you're going to find. But yeah, I like Royval. I think he gets it done, and I think he keeps himself right in that title talk. I mean, he fought a great fight against Van, and yeah, I think that kid's going to be around for a little while. But yeah, that's it. We will be live Saturday night for the fights. I will be on the show. I've had some family stuff I've been dealing with, so I haven't been on as much, but I think everything is good to go now. So I'll be on the show Saturday. Of course, we've got football all weekend. So tune in for that. NukeTheHouse.com. Get all Kegs plays. Get all of our plays, and let's have some fun. It's our last ride for the UFC, so hopefully we go out with a big one. Maybe take down a DFS contest. That'd be nice. But until then, Johnny, if you got anything else, let us know. Otherwise, we'll get out of here.
No, that's it. Just locked in for the weekend.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. Give us a like, share the video, and we will see you this weekend. We're out.